about the only solid consensus that you can come up with. When you talk about the
Laying on the couch, Arthur felt a sense of boredom as the night progressed. He mindlessly flicked through channels on the TV, each one passing him by without much interest. It was one of those nights where nothing seemed engaging. His gaze shifting towards the window and the darkened sky. He considered taking a walk, but was too comfortable on the couch to truly commit to the thought. Arthur was nearly nodding off, head slipping from his hand, when a sudden knock on the door jolted him upright. The unexpected sound startled him, causing him to almost slide off the couch. He quickly composed himself, rubbing his eyes to rid himself of the drowsiness. He stood up from the couch and made his way to the front door, wondering who could be visiting at this late hour. Arthur's heart skipped a beat as he peered through the peephole, seeing none other than you, his sister's best friend. The sight of you sent a rush of excitement through him. He took a moment to compose himself, his palms beginning to feel clammy with anticipation. Drawing in a deep breath, he slowly opened the door, revealing himself to you. Arthur greeted you with a warm smile, slightly flustered. He leaned against the doorframe and responded. She went to soccer practice, but she should be back any time now. He couldn't help but feel a little nervous in your presence, the butterflies in his stomach fluttering wildly. Arthur moved aside, gesturing for you to come inside. He spoke with a friendly tone. Come in. It's pretty cold outside. You can wait for her. I'll let her know you're here. He stepped back, holding the door open for you to enter, his heart thumping in his chest. The thought of spending time with you, even just waiting for his sister, made him feel a mix of excitement and nervousness. Although Arthur appeared to be a normal teenage boy to the outside world, he belonged to a family with a deeply guarded secret. They were all vampires. This hidden truth was known only to a select few, and kept well concealed from the human population. Arthur had become adept at maintaining a facade of normality, blending in with his peers while carrying the weight of this extraordinary secret within him. As Arthur stood there, his head began to ache intensely. This wasn't a random headache. He knew it well by now. It was the strange phenomenon that had been happening to him lately. The pain was a clear indicator that he was inadvertently reading minds again. He tried to shake it off, focusing his thoughts and attempting to block out the mental voices that threatened to overwhelm his own mind. You casually made yourself at home in Arthur's living room, finding familiar comfort in the surroundings. You headed straight for the couch and settled into the very spot where he had been nearly dozing off earlier. The cushion seemed to mold to your body perfectly, as if it had been waiting for you to return. Arthur tried to maintain his composure despite the ache in his head, watching you as you made yourself comfortable on the couch, his thoughts and emotions swirling within him like a tumultuous storm. Arthur leaned against the wall, attempting to look casual despite the pounding in his head. The first thought that came through, clear as a bell, was,
Gosh, this couch smells just like him. Was he just sleeping on the couch?
He couldn't help the faint smirk that tugged at the corners of his lips. His cheeks flushed slightly, the combination of the mind reading and your unintentional comment sending his heart into a flutter.
I would lay here all day if I could. His cologne smells so good.
Arthur, struggling to keep his focus away from the thoughts swirling in his head, shifted his attention to you. He took a moment to compose himself before asking, his voice tinged with curiosity. What are you guys working on? A project? He hoped that engaging in conversation would help distract his mind from the relentless flow of thoughts he was involuntarily picking up on.
Oh wait, he's talking to me. Gosh, don't mess this up.
As you explained the details about the science project, Arthur slowly walked over, his hands finding sanctuary in the pockets of his sweatpants. He stood there listening, his attention divided between the conversation and the thoughts that still echoed in his mind. As you thought to yourself,
Oh my gosh, his sweatpants. Ugh, he looks so good in them. Seriously, I need to stop staring before he notices.
Arthur couldn't help but pick up on the thought. It sent a shiver down his spine, and he fought back the rising heat in his cheeks. He forced himself to nod along, trying to conceal the effect your thoughts had on him.
Gosh, I must sound so nervous speaking to him.
Arthur fidgeted slightly, his hand moving to the back of his head as he responded to your conversation. He tried to maintain eye contact but found himself glancing away briefly. Yeah, science project. Cool. Do you want anything to eat or drink? I can go get you something. The words spilled out awkwardly, each one tinged with a hint of nervousness. He was acutely aware of the thoughts flickering through your mind, and how they only served to add to his already flustered state.
Have he been working out? I could look at him all day.
Arthur abruptly said, "I'll go grab something." His words rushed and tinged with anxiety. He practically fled the room, seeking refuge in the kitchen. It was too much. The overwhelming thoughts, the pounding in his head, and the fact that you were in his house, lying on the couch like it was the most natural thing. He took a deep breath, leaning against the counter as he attempted to regain control and silence the mental chatter. He couldn't help but wonder, what the hell? Why is she thinking about me like that? He tried to shake the thought away, but the words echoed in his head, causing him to feel a mix of surprise and, dare you say, excitement. Arthur opened the fridge door, scanning its contents for something to munch on, all the while muttering to himself, his words barely a whisper. No way, she thinks about me like that. No way. He couldn't believe it. Your thoughts about him, the words he had inadvertently heard, were playing on repeat in his mind, making his heart race and his cheeks flush. Arthur reached into the fridge and grabbed a bottle of juice. Idiot. I am such an idiot. He thumped the back of his head lightly with his palm, the gesture a mixture of frustration and self-deprecation. The thoughts you had about him still lingered in his mind, but they were mixed with a wave of self-doubt and disbelief. Arthur poured the juice into the cup slowly, his hands trembling slightly with nervousness. He spared a glance in your direction, and his heart raced with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. He stood by the counter for a moment, hesitating to return to the living room. The thought of facing you again, knowing what was going through your mind, made him both excited and uneasy. Yet, he knew he couldn't stay in the kitchen all evening. As Arthur made his way back to the living room, juice glasses in hand, he noticed a subtle change. Your heart rate seemed to be elevated, and your thoughts, clear as day to him, declared,
Oh wait, he's coming back. Let me fix my hair. I hope it's okay now. He's staring right at me. Ugh, he's so cute.
The words struck him like a bolt of electricity, and he had to fight to keep his composure. A mixture of surprise and pleasure washed over him. He stood there for a moment, his gaze lingering on you, as your thoughts echoed in his mind, fueling his growing nervousness and excitement. Arthur couldn't resist a smirk, the confidence growing within him. He took a step closer, his gaze holding yours. In a low, almost challenging tone, he said, "Say it then." Arthur's smirk deepened as he noticed the look of surprise on your face. Instead of answering your question, he switched the subject, his voice barely concealing a trace of mischief. Where do you want the juice? I hope you don't mind. It's cherry." He held the glass out to you, his gaze locked on your face, watching closely for your reaction. Your blush wasn't lost on Arthur, and it only fueled his growing confidence. He watched as you slowly sat up, accepting the glass from him, your cheeks tinged with a delicate shade of pink. "You're welcome," he replied softly, a hint of satisfaction in his tone. His heart raced as he savored the moment, the words you had thought earlier still fresh in his mind. Arthur moved with a casual grace, plopping down next to you on the couch with a relaxed nonchalance that belied the fluttering of his heart. He was aware of the effect his proximity was likely to have, but he kept his cool as he settled into the cushions, the subtle brush of his arm against yours igniting a current of anticipation. As Arthur settled next to you, his innate vampiric nature started to respond. His vampire senses heightened as he inhaled subtly, picking up on the scent of your skin and the thudding of your heart. The pounding in your chest fueled a primal response within him, and he struggled to keep his expression neutral, despite the intoxicating effect you were unknowingly having on him. "So," he started, his voice soft and smooth, "how's the science project going?" He tried to appear nonchalant, as if your closeness didn't affect him at all, but the subtle tension in his jaw gave him away. Arthur nodded in response, his gaze flickering from your eyes to your lips, his mind still consumed by the thoughts he had overheard. He tried to refocus on the conversation. "That's good," he replied, his voice slightly strained. "Almost done then." He fidgeted with the hem of his shirt, the proximity between you two making it increasingly difficult to concentrate. "Me? I'm fine," he replied, his voice tinged with a hint of strain. He fidgeted slightly on the couch, the tension palpable as he fought to keep his gaze trained on your face, acutely aware of the desire coursing through him. As the conversation continued, Arthur found it increasingly more difficult to ignore the pounding of your heart. Every beat served as a tantalizing reminder of the life coursing through you, igniting a primal hunger within him. His gaze involuntarily drifted towards your neck, his fangs tingling with anticipation. He fought the urge to lean closer, to press his lips against the pulsating vein in your throat. The sound of the front door opening echoed through the house. You heard the cheerful greeting of Arthur's sister, her familiar voice breaking the intimate atmosphere. Arthur let out a soft sigh, torn between the relief of the distraction and the disappointment of the interrupted moment. Arthur rose to his feet. "Don't be so shy, okay? I don't bite. We can be friends too. Just don't tell Hannah, all right?" He smirked, his words carrying a hint of mischief and a hint of something more. Reluctantly, he turned and walked off, leaving you with a lingering sense of anticipation